Hi, this is Jake Mezrahi from Our Natural Kitchen, and today I'd like to talk to you about garden layout. If you're just starting your garden, one of the important things you want to start out thinking about is how you want to lay it out, where you want to put things. One of the things I recommend to all my friends and everyone else that is starting a garden is separate your perennials from your annuals. So perennials are plants that come back every year on their own. The roots stay in the ground. In the winter they die back, the leaves fall off, and the roots stay in the ground, and that plant comes back in the same spot next year. Whereas an annual is a one-year plant. So you plant it, dies, next year, nothing comes back. So you want to separate those. So I'm going to show you just how we separate that here. So starting on this side, this part of the whole garden is mostly a perennial part. Meaning I leave the plants there, they come back next year, I just trim them, take what I need, and leave the soil alone. That's one of the benefits of separating, is that you don't have to disturb the soil, and the soil can really build up nutrients and good beneficial soil life. So here, from this line, if you see there's just a little path over there, I've separated. This is an annual section. So here, everything here is replanted. And I like to use stones because you can always move them around. And it's always good to rotate what you plant. So when you want to move something, you need to also move the lines. I put the stones there also so that we could walk through the garden and reach the back. You don't want it to be hard, and you don't want to, let's say, get your shoes dirty if you want to go right back into the kitchen and cook. So you want to be able to step on a nice clean stone rather than dirt to reach the back of the garden, or reach through or walk through. Also, when you have let's say these 1x1 square bricks down, no weeds are going to grow there. It's less weeding for you, and it naturally spaces out the plants. Okay, so it's a good idea to make some kind of path, even if it's not permanent, just some loose stones, bricks, whatever kind of design or pattern or color you like, so that you can get through to the back of your garden. So again, this middle section here is all a annual section. So we got perennials, we got an annual section over here, and then again, divided by these stones over here, we start another perennial section. And that perennial section goes over to here. Again, we have another annual, or sometimes biennial, section in the middle, and then back to perennials. So just with the space we have here, we have 3 perennial sections, and in the middle of those, 2 annual sections, which are rotated. So the tomatoes, for example, were in a different spot last year. This year they're here, next year they'll be somewhere else. Actually, last year they were somewhere about there, because you can see those are the ones that fell and came back from last year. Even though tomatoes are an annual, if the tomato ever just falls off the tree or doesn't look good, maybe insects or an animal ate half of it, take it, bury it under the ground, and you'll actually get some volunteers, some free tomato plants for next year. So over time, again, you may want to change these borders, and this is why, especially when people are starting out, I don't recommend building boxes of wood, which are harder to move. Even if you want to do that, you should make it in a way where you could separate it inside there. Okay, you don't want to mix, again, the perennials and annuals, because you don't want to. You want to disturb the soil as little as possible. Disturbing the soil robs it of many of its nutrients. Most people have the impression that when they start a garden, they have to rip up and turn all the soil every year. Well, that's now been found to be less beneficial. Unless you're going to throw a lot of fertilizer in there, instead of leaving the soil as it is. That's the only other way, because once you turn that soil, it loses a lot of its nutrients. You're going to need to fertilize it. So again, Jake Mezrahi here from Our Natural Kitchen. When you're planning your layout, try to use a layout that you can move, a layout that helps you show you where your perennial section and annual section is. Thank you for joining us, and come back soon.